the matching engine, the order books. We already started our JSON API so we can interact with our own exchange from the front end. But today is going to be so amazing because we are going to set up our own private Ethereum blockchain so we can actually trade real Ethers, ERC20 tokens on our own exchange. How amazing is that? Where the hell are you going to find this value? Nowhere, only here on my channel. Okay, cool. So, what do we need to do? The first thing we're gonna do is actually install. Let me open up my terminal. And I've already installed Ganache. And for the people that don't know what Ganache is, or Ganache, or whatever you pronounce that thing, I will just boot it up and you will see. It's basically a tool, easy to install, where you can boot up your own private Ethereum network in just a finger click, in just a click. And it's already running. It basically provides us with some addresses, private keys, already provided with ETH. And the only thing we need to do is test if we can connect, test if we can interact with it. So we can actually provide hot wallets onto our exchange, some wallets to the users, so they can actually trade real Ethereums, real tokens. Isn't that amazing? I think it's amazing. What do you think? So, how does this thing actually work? Let me quickly open up some documentation. And I already was checking it out before the stream started. Setting up the client. ETH client dial, that's basically straightforward. So let's quickly do that here in a nasty way. So we could say that the client, the error is going to be ETH. Wait, first of all, I'm a retard. We need to actually install the package. It doesn't matter, you just copy this. Go get the whole shebang. And then we do client, ETH, client, dial, and we say HTTP, localhost, and I think it's 8545, not quite sure. If r is null, and I'm confused already. Let's just fatal out this error. And then we could say, let's get a balance. Balance, error, client, balance at. What does it take? A context, an address, and a block number. The block number can be null. That's good, because I have no clue why they need a block number. So, balance, context. CTX is going to be context background, like this. And we put the CTX inside of this. And then we need a balance. So what we're going to do is get our Ganache. And I'm going to copy. What the hell is going on? The server is... That's no good. Look, what is this Windows shenanigans? So normally I code on a Mac, but because I want to provide the best quality for you guys, I'm using this Razer Blade so I can actually stream with a decent bitrate. But I need to code on Windows, which is You know how it is. Okay, this balance. I need an address, so I'm gonna paste this guy. Let's do this. Let's paste this boy in. And then we say, I think it's, as far as I remember, common hex to address this guy like this. Put in the address, nil. Then we're gonna copy this because we're lazy. Paste it in here. And then we're gonna just print out the balance. Okay, cool. So is this working? I have no clue. Make run. Holy shit. What is going on? Let me quickly open up my own stream, so I can see this, everything is all right. Believe it or not, a couple days ago, I was streaming. Well, I thought I was streaming, but I was not streaming. So I wasted 2 hours of my life talking to nobody. And that's not the bad part, because if there is nobody, I can always upload this video to YouTube. But I was not recording at all. So I deleted all the code and just started over again and actually put on the stream. That was amazing. All right, so we have this error, but I think it's basically the go mod tidy. Holy crap, go mod tidy. Why is it not working? Cool, so it's working. So we have this, and I don't know why this terminal inside of VS Code is so small in font size. I looked everywhere, but I cannot solve it. So if somebody knows how to bump up this terminal, please let me know. But it's working, right? So we get the balance of some address, and it's this big amount. It's 1000 ETH, but because it's in way, or whatever you want to say it, it's that large of a number, 18 decimals. All right, so that's working. So we know that we can interact with the private blockchain. So the main goal is, so we have this matching engine, we have this order book. What we're gonna do is, we're gonna place an order. We're gonna start with the limit orders. We're gonna place an order. We're gonna, let's say some user wants to sell 10 ETH. We're gonna grab that order. We're gonna extract 10 ETH. We're gonna transfer 10 ETH from his wallet in our exchange. Because if you have your money or your ETH of your tokens, your Bitcoin, your Rupus, your Shiba Inus, it doesn't matter, on an exchange, it's not your wallet, it's not your address. Well, it's your wallet, but your private keys are not from you. These are from the exchange. And in this case, these are ours. So he's going to send a limit order. We're going to transfer the tokens to our hot wallet, the exchange hot wallet. And if that order is getting filled by some dude placing a market order, we're going to transfer these tokens to that other guy. And we basically have a complete exchange working that we created ourselves. Isn't that amazing? Who is doing this? Nobody. Literally nobody. So, first of all, let's first test if we can actually transfer ETH. That's important. We're gonna test that. So we do it in this main thing. So how does it work? How does it work? Transferring ETH, easy. We need a private key. Okay, so we just copy this because we're lazy. So we say this. So we're gonna check our Ganesh and grab this private key. like this. And I think, as far as I remember, this OX needs to be away. So we have this private key. Then from address. Okay. All good. I believe you. I believe you. Okay. And we're gonna split this out in another function soon. But just for the sake of seeing if things working. Pending nonce, what the hell is this? Damn, this is the whole, what the hell is going on? Just want to do a simple transaction and it's all this shenanigans. So we have the nonce, we know, then we need the value. We're going to transfer one ETH, that's fine. Transfer one ETH, gas limit, of course. Gas limit, gas price, we're going to use this suggested gas price. Okay. To an address. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It can be that address. I'm gonna take this, paste it in. The chain ID, oh my goodness. What's going on? Chain ID. It's probably gonna be this, right? It's gonna be the chain ID because it's the default one. Then we're gonna sign this. So we have this transaction, yes. Did we do this already? Yes. Chain ID, good. And then we're gonna sign this bad boy. All right, maybe I should copy it. Yeah. So we're gonna sign it. And then we're gonna send a transaction. It's that easy. And we're gonna send a transaction. Okay, cool. And then we're gonna say, oh my goodness. Let's log out this error, right? Like this. And then we're gonna say this to address. We're gonna check if it actually worked by grabbing this balance. Pasting it here. Oh, there's already another. Okay. Doing it like this. All right, balance. So it's going to be to address. And then we're going to say print the balance. Okay, cool. Enough shenanigans. Make a run and see what happens. Nothing. Let's comment this out. Invalid signature. All right. Invalid signature. Okay, so let me recap. So we do types of new transaction, nonce to address. The private key what the hell is going on? So the private key is basically this 3F and then 72 at the back. It's this one. Private key. Yes, the nonce value, the gas price, it's all good. Then we say the to address is a random address from God knows who. We're gonna create a new transaction, nonce, to that address, the value, gas limit, the gas price, the chain ID, that's all working fine. And we're gonna sign with the private key. What the hell is going on? I think so. First of all, I want to see which error actually throws, because page left doesn't exist. Holy crap! Doesn't matter. Okay. So it's not in sign, so it's probably here then. Make one, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, cool. So it's basically send transaction. I just copied everything from this documentation. Chain ID, that's garbage, nobody cares. Sign takes. Insane. What we also can try is basically just reset this Ganesh thing. We need another private key now. Come on, please. So I'm gonna recap. This is bad, because normally I thought this would work right off the bat, but it isn't. Nobody cares about this to address, to be honest. So it's the TX, nonce, yeah. Value, gas limit, gas price. Print F, and then we're gonna say probably such a stupid error. What's going on? It's nil. Provenance, no man, private key, that's what I want. Yeah, so the private key is working, that's good. Never know. So I have no fucking clue what's going on. Send transaction. The signed TX, this is this one. And I'm just signing this transaction with the chain ID and the private key. What's going on? So first, I'm gonna do first real quick. So I think, because if I want to reset this Ganesh thing, I want to have the same seed. So I have the same addresses all the time. And I think, not quite sure, it should have something. Do we have help? Yes. Because we're probably going to reset this thing a couple times, and I don't want to change the addresses and private keys all the time. Wallet seed. I think it's wallet seed. Mindy. It could also be something. Mid-like bonus scare. Okay, so I think it's working. 23B1D. 23B1D, that's good. Perfect. So this is basically seeding. It's a deterministic way to boot this thing up. So if I now copy this one, and what I'm gonna do actually, I'm gonna delete the whole shebang and do it again. Because it's not working. So I'm gonna delete this. We have the CTX. I'm gonna delete this. We're gonna just delete everything and then do it again. So these guys, what are they telling us? Make a fucking private key. Okay, cool. Copy. Now, we're gonna grab this private key. First of all, I'm gonna do this, grab it again, paste it in. Print the private key just to see, because I think this 0x and front basically is a problem. What's going on? Client. All right. Just like I thought, this make run. All right. Okay, so we have the private key. The next thing. Okay, cool. The function requires the public address of the account we're sending from. I know that. So we're going to derive the public key from the address. Makes sense. Copy. Cool. So now we're probably going to make this transaction. First we get the nonce. Copy. All right. Just a value, I understand. Gas limit, yeah. Come on, because we need to have, put in the pace real quick. Gas price, copy. I'm gonna fetch the gas price, the optimal gas price, the suggested gas price from our private network. To address. You know what? We're gonna send it. We're gonna send it to one of these guys. The last one. The last one in the list. Comma next to address. Okay, cool. To address. Going to be common hex to address. What's going on? And then paste this in. And because this Vim plugin on Windows is so trash, or maybe it's me. So that's a to address. Now we're gonna make this transaction. This one. Copy. Paste it in. Go Ethereum, go Ethereum, go. This is all good. It could be that we are importing something completely different. That's why it's giving us wrong results. So that's a transaction. I'm gonna print this out real quick. And I know normally if you use JavaScript libraries, like Ethers or something, it's much more easier to do. But because we need to transfer these tokens on our backend, on our exchange, we need to do it in Go, unfortunately. But it is what it is. So let's see what's going on. I have no clue if that's good or bad. We will see. At least there's something. Okay, the next step. Chain ID, yeah, and then we need to sign it. All good. I'm gonna send it. Just gonna send it. So please, make run. Let's see what's going on. Okay, invalid signature. I don't know what's going on. I've actually no clue. And I did this before. That's the strange part. I did this before, so I thought it's going to be a walk in the park, but it isn't. And God knows why. God knows why. All right. So what do we do? What do you do if you encounter something you cannot solve? Or you keep hassling around with it? Or are we doing something else? Until our brain settles. But I really want to get this done because it's so important, because we need this. And I cannot seem to find or to spot the issue because it's straightforward. Maybe, but probably not. What the hell is going on? It's a big int. I understand. Maybe it's the fucking chain ID. You never know. A big int. How can we format this? Verbose. If we are building a to-do list, the stream would be a much more smoother. I understand. But we don't do to-do lists. We don't build blog sites. We build crazy shit. And I will show you what we are doing. Make run. So I have no clue if this big int is what we need. Because I could remember I'm doing this at the exact same thing, but if I was printing out the chain ID, and I'm pretty sure it's the fucking chain ID for some reason, the chain ID was exactly what it needs to be, and now it's not. But why? Damn, what is this? Arbitrary positive integer. Yeah. So the question is, it wants a big int. Okay, so first of all, I have an idea. With this, wait, so let me first check this API. Setting up the client. Dial client, yeah. Big print new window. I have an idea. So let's say the chain ID is this, right? We can see it. Chain ID is going to be a big new int, and it's going to be this. And then I'm going to print it out. Oh, declared not used. Yeah. I'm going to print it out. You see, so if a big int, it should just return exactly what it is. So that's a problem. So what are we going to do? And please let this be the solution. And I'm going to cry if it's dead. Not going to lie. So what the hell is this? So chain ID. What we're going to do, we're going to say that the chain ID is going to be a big new int. This number. What the hell's going on with this key bindings, man? Where was I? Nowhere. New int 1, 2, 3, and then 7. think we did it. I think we did it. We did it. So what we're gonna do, this is insane. We're gonna say the balance, oh my goodness, man. The balance is going to be client balance at the context ctx to address and then nil. I'm gonna copy this error like this, and then we're gonna print out the balance. Make and find ctx. No worries, boys. I got this covered. Context, new background, like this. Make run. All right, we are sending Ethereum finally. So what was the problem? And you see, it's fucking nasty. This problem is so nasty. It's so filthy. So the problem is a chain ID, and I have no clue why I actually spotted this, because I could basically sit here for another 2 hours debugging this thing and did not find the issue. The problem is a chain ID. So it expects us to put this chain ID into this signer. And I remember from in the past that if you print out a chain ID, it should actually be the exact chain ID from your server, which in this case is lead 1337. But we got a complete other chain ID, and I don't know why, even though we are querying, but it doesn't matter. We fixed it, and that's the only thing that counts. So we can send transactions, that's good. So what we're gonna do now, we know that this works. We're gonna stick it. We're gonna let this code stick in this main function for now, but we need to have, our exchange needs to have its own hot wallet, right? That's sometimes you hear in the community or on Twitter or whatever, the hot wallets are basically the wallets from the exchanges they use to transfer things on the fly. They also have cold wallets, but most of their liquidity sits in hot wallets. We're gonna say we need a private key first, the exchange private key, and that's gonna be an ECDSA private key. That's correct. So if we make a new exchange, we're gonna say the private key gonna be a string. And I'm gonna say here private key is going to be, and I'm gonna check how they do this. We need to convert this string. Wait, I actually have it somewhere in the code. We're gonna convert this hexadecimal string into a private key. Where is this garbage code we created? Here. So we can actually do this. Yeah. Private key. And what the hell's going on? Now we need to have this string, okay. So I'm gonna delete this, quickly make it constant, like this, and we're gonna call this exchange private key. What color theme is this? Type error null. That's a good question. I don't know. I think it's Dune. Because I have some, wait, let me, where the hell is this? Like I said, normally I code on my MacBook. And I don't know. Wait, can I do something like, I'm gonna do like this, and then theme. It's Groovebox, yeah, okay, Groovebox. So I'm only using Groovebox and sometimes Dune. But this is Groovebox, and I think it's the hard one. It's the contrast. You have like lighter versions and darker versions. That's basically the contrast of your background. Groovebox. And the only thing I did is basically change the comment colors. So normally in Groovebox, your comments are gray. But I don't like gray, so I'm using the comments is green. All right. So yeah, it looks nice. I know. It's Groovebox. It's one of the most popular themes back in the days, like 20 years ago, 15 years ago. Groovebox was this shit. If you didn't code in Groovebox, you were garbage. But it's nice. It's also soft on the eyes. It's important. It's soft on the eyes. All right. So I know this is a little bit of a hassle and a struggle right now. But we will get to the fun part very soon, I promise. Pinky swear. Pinky swear. So the first thing we need to do is this private key. So what is going on? Private key. So we're going to convert this exchange private key. And I know normally you can never ever, and don't do this, put your private keys as a constant in your code, because if you commit to GitHub, it will be there and you will be hacked in a matter of time. Because in GitHub, it stays there forever, right? So if you never know. So normally you need to provide this with an environment variable. If you boot up your system, provide it with an environment variable. But for the sake of this demonstration, we're going to put it there. So we need to do exchange private key. And I have no clue why this is complaining. Man, am I what the hell's going on? This is no string. Why is this a string? Oh, no. Man, this is... It makes no sense. Hex to ECDA, just paste a string in. It's telling me this is a string. What the hell's going on? Okay. Order books, this. Hex to address, yeah. Where is this? Whatever, it's crypto. Hex to ECDA. So it takes a hex string, yes, and it returns an ECDA, yeah, and an error. Okay, cool. So what I'm gonna do, just to test this real quick, is do this, pk, error, this, and maybe even drop the error, right? And pk is not gonna be a string. Exactly, it's not a string. So why the hell? This makes no sense. So normally we could say if we create a new exchange, we could return an error. And why not? Why the hell not? Like this, and then we could say if r is not null, we say return the error, return nil with an error. Like this, and then on our main function, and this, and then we could say error if r, we fatal this error, new exchange. I understand. Wait, Why are we doing this? All right, and then we could say, I need to clean this up big time. Let's place this constant on top, private key, and then we put this in this thing. Yes, cool. All right. That should work. Make run. And if you ask yourself, why is this echo thing running in the background? It's our HTTP server, it's our API server, because we already implemented the order books, we already made our matching engine, and we can also already call our own API and placing orders into our books, limit orders, providing liquidity, ask bids, and we can also place market orders. And right now, basically this stream, we're gonna trade our own Ethereum tokens from our private Ethereum blockchain, which actually means we're just gonna create a complete exchange. It is what it is. And it's amazing. That's the raid boss, right? The end game, the raid boss is make a front end in Nextjs or whatever framework, I don't care. And we just log in with a wallet, MetaMask, and we place an order and we trade our own tokens through the front end. That's the end game. That's the end goal of the series, and we're almost there. We're almost there, and all code is available at GitHub, on GitHub. I think it's somewhere on my channel if you want to see it. Cool, so the next thing we need, actually we're gonna clean this up real quick, because this is, look at this garbage. So all these constants, I'm gonna place them here. Something like this. Like this, delete, delete. Let's split them a little bit up. A little bit of space. Type order, type market. That's all fine. So we could do something like this. And take this here. This type exchange can stay there, why not? And I think we still have some other garbage here, these types. And we're gonna split these things more up in other files, but for now this is fine. These types can be here, and we can just say delete, delete, delete. All right, maybe this match order thing on top, like this. All right, cool. All right. I actually need to pee so fucking hard. But you know what happens if I do that? I need to be away for 30 seconds, and when I come back, everybody is gone. So I'm gonna drink more water. So I'm gonna force myself and train my bladder. Train it. So we can code as long as we can without having the need to go to the toilet. All right. So now we need to have users. So we have our hot wallet, our private key for our hot wallet configured. But now we're going to make a user, right? We need a user for the exchange. Some poor little guy with a dream of being a real trader. A real day trader, right? With Ferraris and big mansions and hot girls. Unfortunately, we know, because we are high value engineers, we make these things, right? We are the house. We know that the house always wins. and that trading is an ancient old scam that does not work. I know. It is what it is. It does not work. And later on, if you're interested, what we're also going to do is, if the series is completed, we're going to make our own we're going to make our own market maker algorithms, right? Because an exchange needs to have liquidity at all times. So we're going to make our own market maker algorithms so we can provide liquidity to our own exchange. Isn't that insane? That's so crazy, completely crazy. You cannot find this on the internet. You only find this here. It's insane. So market makers, because that's what they do, right? They provide liquidity to an exchange. So we, James or Jonathan, can basically buy his Shiba Inus at all times, right? That's what market makers do. And they don't hunt your stop loss, right? They are not sitting with their sniper rifles, with their dogs, hunting your stop loss in the Black Forest. That's not, they don't do that. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. The exchange is paying those guys to provide liquidity, so they don't care about the spread. The only thing they do is try to flush as much as volume on any kind of exchange as possible, so they can rake in a lot of commission, because it's most of the time it's based by a percentage of the total volume they provide. So if I can flush 100 million on Binance and they pay me 10%, I don't know if it's true, 10%. These numbers are out of thin air, so don't pitchfork me if that's not true, but it's a percentage. They get 10 million. By the end of the year, they get 10 million commissions by just providing liquidity. So if you know what I just told you, how would you optimize your algorithm? They do not optimize their algorithms to make as much profit as possible. They optimize their algorithms to minimize their loss. Because if I make an algorithm that can flush 100 million on an exchange over a year, and I'm losing 5 million because market volatility, right? If Elon Musk says something on Twitter that crypto Twitter doesn't like, the market collapses and my algorithm loses 5 million, but that doesn't matter because I get 10 million as commission. I'm losing 5 million. So how much do I make? 5 fucking million. Even though my algorithm is losing. You cannot find this on the internet and you cannot find this on YouTube. It's only here on my channel. Why do I know this? Because I make these things, right? I worked for cryptocurrency exchanges making all these things and I have nothing to sell you, right? So I'm telling you the truth. It's not Wyckoff. It's not smart money concepts, break it blocks, institutional candles and all these garbage. Support and resistance. You can literally take your heartbeat from the past 2 years, right? And plot your heartbeat on a chart, on a 4-hour chart, and you can draw support and resistance lines, diagonal support and resistance lines. You can find Wyckoff shenanigans on your own heartbeat. So do with this information what you like. Yo, Detox Mango. What is poppin'? How are you doing? How is your day? Mine is good. You know why? Because you are here in the army of the high value engineers. All right, so I'm totally distracted with my own performance about the market makers. I'm gonna clip this, not gonna lie. I'm gonna clip this and I'm gonna make a YouTube short from it because it's insane. And everybody will downvote this because they... Why are you building an exchange? That's a good question. This exchange is not being built to being used in production. It's just being built this is being built to provide value, right? So that's what I'm streaming because I think a lot of tutorials are basically based about to-do lists and hello worlds and how to connect your wallet and how to deploy a smart contract. But let us be honest, that's easy stuff, right? That's easy stuff. We don't care, right? We are high value engineers. We don't want to know how to make a to-do list. We only want to know how to provide real value. That's why I'm making this exchange, so you guys can see how it works, how a matching engine works, how an order book works, how these algorithms work. What does it mean that the order books are thin? Why? What is a hot wallet? How does it work? Well, if you follow these series, and you can go on my YouTube channel, you can find a lot of more things. I'm also building blockchains from scratch, everything from scratch, right? Everything. All the ones listed are dumb games and not real. Exactly. Schoolie B. That's true. Right? And they get a ton of views. I'm so pissed, right? I get 100 views on YouTube because people don't want to sit for 1 hour watching a guy coding stuff, right? They want to see a quick tutorial so their instant gratification can quickly copy paste their shenanigans and call it a day. So they can go back to Fortnite, World of Warcraft, League of Legends, Call of Duty. We don't do that, right? We solve real problems. That's what we do. You need a podcast. I know, man. I know. Sometimes I know. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna go back to business because we're talking too much bullshit. We need users. So we're gonna make one. So we do it here, and we're gonna split this all out. So we're gonna say type user. Gonna be a struct. My hands are cold, so I will make some typos. So what do we need? We need a private key, and that's the reason. ECDSA private key. So that's the reason why people always say if you're on an exchange, you don't own your private keys. Exactly, because you see it in front of you. We have the private key of whatever guy it may be is in our possession. Why do we need this private key? Because if we're gonna send, if he places a market order and we need to trade Ethereums from user A to him, from him to user A, then we need to sign this transaction. We need to sign it with his private key. So we need it. Are you going to live test your exchange against jitters? That's a good question. We're going to test it for sure, but I don't know if we're going to test it in depth, right? Because it's still a toy project, right? It's not something that people actually going to use. This is for demonstration, for educational purposes, right? And also, when it's done, I can also write a nice blog post about it, that I created a crypto exchange from scratch. Isn't it? It's a bit of marketing, right? If you're an engineer, you also need a little bit of a businessman. It's very important. So if you, tonight, and you think about watching Netflix or playing games with the boys on Discord, think about learning something like telling a story or copywriting or marketing. It's important. It's important. You need to sell yourself. You need to sell yourself. In a good way. In a good way. I see you thinking. I see you thinking bad things. Private key. New user. PK string. Pointer to a user. Return. Private key. I'm going to copy the shenanigans like this. PK. Boom. It's the same shenanigans again. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Big mistake. So I will demonstrate. So what I'm gonna do, I will show you how because a lot of people weren't there on the previous stream, how the API works, because it's already done. So you can see how these market orders and limit orders work. We're gonna panic in this case. We're gonna panic. We also need, because we need to map our orders to a user, right? So because if we send, I will demonstrate, because a lot of people were missing the previous stream and a lot of things I'm gonna say to you will not make sense. So let me open up order book. Damn, did I wrote so many code already? It's insane. Matches. So if you place a market order, your order will be matched with minimum one order. Could be more. And these matches will be returned as a bunch of orders, a bunch of people on the other side. So we need to map the order IDs with the users so we can fetch the user, fetch his private key, sign the transaction and transfer tokens, grab our fee for the exchange and call it a day. That's what we need to do. But first of all, guys, I'm gonna quickly, and girls, and everything in between, because these days you need to be very careful with what you say. Very careful. Or we can go to Rumble, just like Andrew Tate, where we can do whatever the fuck we want. But on Twitch, we need to be careful. So give me 46 seconds. I'll be right back. All right. How many seconds? Didn't count it. Okay, cool. I think it's, for the people that's still watching, it's insane. I'm just like you. I like to watch that. People coding. My girlfriend thinks I'm insane when she sees me on Twitch, that I'm watching some kind of random dude coding. But they don't understand, right? They don't understand. If you want to become a high value engineer, you need to absorb as much information as possible, right? So we can raise our paycheck with an incredible amount because we know more than everybody else, right? All right, so now it's gonna get very interesting. I'm thinking, how can I map? First, the first thing I'm gonna do is refactor this a little bit. So we have an API. Let me carefully show this. Where is Postman? So let me drag this thing inside of here. Trying to find a language that I enjoy. Is this area profitable and enjoyable? Listen, Schoolie B. Listen very carefully. Just started coding recently, starting with Python, HTML, CSS. Yes. The first thing you need to do is stop learning HTML, CSS, because those things, if this was 15 years ago, it was a completely different story. But right now, if you want to join a company, any kind of company that's doing something with web development or app development, those guys basically use a lot of tools, right? For example, Nextjs or React or whatever, or what other framework there is. There are a bunch of them. And they don't use plain CSS anymore. They're using something like, for example, Bootstrap or Tailwindcss, which makes it much more easier to write these things, right? And it's basically so easy that it will make sense for you. So if the best thing you can do if you want to learn programming is to just build things. Just build it and only learn what you need for the task at hand, right? Only learn what you need. For example, if you want to do blockchain development, which is a niche, blockchain, smart contracts, DeFi, it's a very big niche. Why? Because it's very new and a lot of people have no fucking clue. Trust me, they have no clue. All these guys on YouTube, all these tutorials, they have no clue what they are doing, right? They are just making simple things. So if you can learn these concepts by making things and learning only what you need, you can make a lot of money, because it's very hard to find good blockchain engineers. Very hard. Because if you make one mistake, right? If you deploy a smart contract and you make one mistake, you're wrecked. You can basically move to another country and change your name, because they will find you and they will try to kill you. Right? Because if you deploy a smart contract and there's one gap and some hacker, because those guys in crypto, they are very smart people, they will find and they will abuse and exploit your contract, and they will drain all the money inside the pool or whatever, and it happens all the time. And millions of money will be lost. And you made that mistake. How are you going to feel about that, right? So the companies that hiring those guys, they will hire only the best, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. Is Python a language used in this area? Not really. Python is one of the most popular languages. That's true. But Python is mostly used for artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, data manipulation, data analysis, and also web design or backends. But most of the time, Python will be used for data-oriented shenanigans. But to be honest, if you if you're learning Python, it's always a good starting point. Because by the end of the day, look, programming is not about the programming language, right? So you can never be emotionally attached to your programming language. A lot of people are emotionally attached. They are writing PHP, for example, or Ruby, and they focus so hard on their language, and they know everything, right? They know every single thing about their language. But they forgot the most important thing, and that's solving the problem. That's the most important thing. It does not really matter in what language you program. It's the same thing, right? Programming in Python or programming in Go or in JavaScript, it's the same thing. You're assigning a variable, you're doing a for loop, you subtract, you add, you make an array. It's all the same. It's just a different syntax, right? It's easy to find, right? Once you know how it works, you can write in every language. It will be a little bit slower in the beginning, but eventually it will be the same. What languages do you use for engineering? I mostly write in Go and in Rust. And every front-end related stuff, I'm using JavaScript or TypeScript. And that's the only thing. That's the only languages that I'm using. Focus on the problem, not on the language. For example, there's a last example I'm going to give. If you have, for example, it's super hot outside, right? It's insanely hot, and your dog is inside your car, and you forgot your keys. What is the problem you have? The dog is choking in your car. That's the problem. What is the solution? The solution, the most optimized solution is to break the fucking window so you can get the dog outside of the car so he don't die. He doesn't die. So how do you solve that? You could use a hammer, a rock, your own fucking fist. You see? It doesn't matter. That's the same with programming. You take the best tool for the job. So what would be the best tool? Maybe a rock, so you don't hurt your fist, something like that. So it's not about the programming language. It's not about the tool, really. It's about the solution. You need to get your dog ASAP out of the car, or he's dying, right? It doesn't matter if it's a rock, a hammer, or your fist, as long as the dog is free. And that's the same thing with engineering. And that's what people forget. All right. Enough. So, okay, I'm going to show something. But why is Postman so confusing these days? My workspace. All right, so I have some couple of APIs, and we can fetch, for example, we can fetch the order books. All right, so we specify the market we want to fetch the books for. So every market, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Shiba Inu, it doesn't matter, is what's called a market. It's a ticker. And each market has its own order books, bits and asks. So in this case, we are fetching the book, the order book for ETH. And it shows us nothing because we didn't place an order. So let's do that. So I can post an order here. So let's post a limit. Why can we not paste a market? Because there is no liquidity. A market order always fills at the best price. But if there is no liquidity on your exchange is there are no orders, limit orders sitting, it cannot be filled. So we first need to do this. A bit. Let's say it's a bit, so it's true. Let's say size 10. It's a limit order, and I also need to provide a price. 10K. We're gonna place. We wanna buy 10 ETH for 10K. In what kind of world do we live? So hopefully it works because, all right, limit order placed. So if we now fetch the books again, we can see there is a bid in our order books. At price level, 10K, dollar, euro, rupees, whatever, and the size is 10. In the bits. All right. So what needs to happen is, if we place this bid, we need to identify the user that places this bid, and we need to grab 10 ETH out of his wallet, put it into our own wallet, and if this order is getting executed, if somebody comes in with an ask and it's matched, then we will trade this 10 ETH with the guy, but he places a bid, so he's actually buying this 10 ETH, so we need to fetch this 10 ETH from this other dude, transfer it from our exchange to his wallet, and send the other guy the money. That's what we're gonna do. That's how it works. All right. But first of all, let's close this and this, so it's a little bit more cleaner, or maybe not, because it looks much more interesting having more than one window open. So, okay, let's first of all split this out. So this one API for placing a market and it's basically one endpoint for placing a market order and a limit order. So I want to split this out a little bit. What the hell's going on? Exchange. Market order. You're going to say the market, the order. And that's going to be it. I'm opening this other book here actually. So I think I'm going to return these matches. Matches. We also need something for limit orders. Exchange. Handle place limit order. The same thing for a certain market. We also want to have a certain price, because a market order always getting executed at the best price. But a limit order doesn't. A limit order is getting placed at a certain price limit. And a limit is basically a bucket. A limit is a bucket containing multiple orders of different sizes, but sitting at the same limit price, right? That's what it is. And that's what it always will be. Something like this should work. And then we're gonna say, I'm gonna copy this here. It's gonna be the price. I'm gonna make it more verbose, because order. We need to fetch the order book. So we have multiple order books, and we fetch the order book for our market we want to trade in. Price, and then there should be an order book with order. Like this. And why is it not returning anything? Displays limit order. Market. Place order data price, and then the order we created. And I should do something like this. And I will fix this error in another time. We're going to return this, that the limit order is placed, and we're going to do the same thing for market order. So we need to copy this whole shebang. This whole shebang into this function. Order books. Market. Order. Order book with order, then this. It's all good, all good. And we're going to return these matches like this. And then we can say that the exchange handle place market order market and the order. So we don't need the OB. Wait, and then we need to this is basically doesn't make any sense, because then the matched orders. So what we could do is basically return and the matches and the matched orders. It doesn't make sense, but sometimes you do things that do not make sense, and that's totally fine, right? It does not always need to make sense. It does not. It does not. So we're going to return these two things. That's exactly what we're going to do. That's the plan of attack. That's the way it's going to be. For now. So we're going to say, it's going to return the matches, and it's going to return a slice of matched order, right? Just like this, and then we can say this and matched orders. And the only thing we need to do, matched orders, these matched orders are getting used these match orders getting used to display to the front end, but the matches itself are going to get used so we can trade, so we can do bookkeeping. So if please, then we're gonna say, and I think we should do this stuff in a Go routine, but for now we're not gonna do this. So we're gonna say exchange handle matches. Like this, we paste in the matches and it's good. And maybe we could do if r is not null, we're gonna return an error and call it a day. And then we're gonna say exchange handle matches, which is a slice of order book match, like this. It will turn an error, and we're gonna say return null for now. Boom. It's easy as that. So what we certainly need to do is loop through all these bad boys. Range matches. What's in a match, by the way? Ask bit, price, size, filled, ask bit, ID, size. Yeah, it's super good. We know the ask and the bid. Why? Because we need to get the money. We need to get the ETH from the ask, his wallet, his exchange wallet. And we need to put that inside of the wallet of the bidder, of the bid. That's what we need to do. It's going to be exciting because I see a light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm gonna do some pseudocode so I can actually see if it's going in the right direction or not. Match. You could do something like transfer from, but the real question is, do we have the money already on the exchange, yes or no? Because if I'm selling 10 ETH and I place a limit order, then I already fetched the money. So what we're gonna do is we have a much better idea. So instead of doing the shenanigans with these matches, the first thing we're gonna do is handle the place limit order. I think that's the easiest one, and then we can move over to the market orders because we're gonna have different matches and it's a lot of bookkeeping. So what we're gonna do is I place a limit order, a sell, an ask. Then we're gonna get his money from his wallet and put it into the exchange wallet. But because his wallet is also... No, we need to do that. We're gonna move it from his wallet and put it into the exchange hot wallet. That's what we're gonna do. Because if I'm making a limit order on Binance or on Bybit, then I can clearly see that I don't have this liquidity anymore and that it's sitting in the books. So I have no access to it. It could also be that they are mucking, that they are basically just showing you don't have it, but it's still on your wallet. That could also be. That's a dilemma. But we don't care. We're gonna do it anyway, like that. Why not? It's fun. It's fun. It's cool. It's smooth. Cool. So, what do we need? It's in limit order, right? So place limit order. Place limit order. Yeah. So the first thing we need is what guy, what dude or girl or something else placed that order, and we don't know it because in the order we only have the ID. How are we gonna fix this? What we're gonna do is this. We could do something very stupid, but super easy. And we could put an address inside the order. But that's, you're gonna get fired if you do that. So, I have an idea. Exchange, what are you gonna do? You're gonna make a map of order IDs with user. User IDs. And then we're going to make a map with users, which is going to be a map in 64 with users. A slice to users. That's what we're going to do. Yes, yes, yes. I can see it. So users is going to be make map in 64 with a slice pointers to users. I'm going to do the same thing with orders. It's going to be in64, but instead with in64. So the main goal is that if somebody places in an order through our API, we specify the user ID, right? Could be an API token or something, but for the sake of whatever, a user ID. So we know that if an order comes in, we know the user ID. So why do we don't need this order map. Anyway, so we can fetch the user ID from the table, from our map. We fetch the user, so we fetch his wallet, we fetch his private key, and we can do whatever the fuck we want with his tokens. Exactly, and that's what's happening on the exchange. If you do not own your private key, so they can do whatever they want. But of course, they are regulated, so they cannot do whatever they want. But still, you get the point. You get the point what I'm trying to make. So basically, what we need to say in this order, in order book, you're gonna give a user ID. Yeah, we need this user ID for sure. So we're gonna so bit bool, and I'm gonna say user ID. You went int 64. User ID is gonna be this user ID. How long is the stream? Okay, 1 hour and a half, 1 hour and 40 minutes. So I'm hoping to do 20 minutes more and finish what we actually want to do for this stream. Or maybe I can split this up in 2 episodes on YouTube. I don't know. I need to see. I need to think what I'm going to do with it. So we have the user ID, new order. The problem is all these tests gonna be oh man. What is this? Error from previous stream. Let's quickly fix these tests, because now we also need to provide a user ID, all these tests. Can I do this? Too good. I'm too good. This. All right. So new order here. Place order data. So we're gonna add this user ID to our place order data or JSON API request, place order request. We're gonna say we also need a user ID like this, int 64. Why not? Could be a UUID or something else. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As long as it's kind of a random. So new order. So the user ID is going to be this. Yep. Yep. So that means handle place limit order, we could say the user is going to be the order, it's going to be exchange users order when user ID like this, and then we have the private key. Why not? Maybe I'm a retard. This should be this and no slice. And no slice. So user, and still cannot access. I think I need to make it private, public. Not sure. Something like this. And then what the hell's going on? What the hell's going on? A slice, that's impossible. No, it is. I made one mistake. We fixed it in our struct, but we didn't fix it in our constructor. The other way around. Like this, and now it should work. All right, where were we? Okay, private key, please. Yes, private key. That means we can access all his tokens, all of them, or coins, or whatever. All right. So we know the size. So the only thing we need to do right now is basically just say transfer from the user to the exchange. That's the only thing. The only thing that needs to be done is transferring these tokens from him to ours. And if he cancels his order, we need to send them back. Yeah, that's what we need to do. So we it's so hard if you need to code and talk for 1 hour and a half. It's so fucking exhausting. It is. So these shenanigans we did in earlier today, we need to clean this up because this is basically insane. So I'm gonna make a new file. I'm gonna call it util. Can be main, why not? Transfer ETH. I'm gonna call it transfer ETH because it's specifically for transferring ETH. Eventually, I want to support every ERC20 token, but for now, for the sake of making things work first, we use transfer ETH. And I have a typo. Because that's the circle of success, is you make it work, then you make it better, and then you make it faster. And that's a nice thing. So transfer ETH from to come on, that address, does it exist? Import, boom. Common address. From to the amount. The real question rather is, that's probably not an int. The amount the value, it's just a big int. Okay, buddy. All good. A pointer to a big int. A pointer to a big int. So the amount is a pointer to a big int, which is a big int. It's a big integer. It's a big int because it's a U256, which does not fit in an N64. So transfer ETH, we need to from to the amount, and that's it. What is going to return? I have no clue. But we also need in this function, we need the client, right? We need the client, which is a good question. What's going on? It's the ETH client. It's going to be a pointer to the ETH client. What's going on? And then we can actually do our transfer function. We also, no. So I think we need to copy this nonce value First of all, let's copy the nonce. We need a context, and we're gonna make it here. Normally, you should make the context outside of this function, so you can actually provide a context in a function. That's exactly where it's made for. But we are not gonna do that. We're gonna make it easy, so we can make it work. Oh, they do it like this. Okay, why not? From address, it's gonna be from. We could do an error, so we could return the error like this. And then we need the value. We have that. That's the amount, the gas limit, and the gas price. We can do this, this, and this. But for the sake of, let's do context background. Do the same thing for this one. What's going on? CTX, gas price, gas limit, to address, we have that. The transaction itself, the chain ID, the sign TX, and then we're gonna send this transaction. Boom, boom, boom. From, to, amount, sign, private key. Private key. We're missing that. We are missing that. So if we want to transfer from A to B, the only one that needs to sign. The only one that needs to sign this transaction is the guy sending it. Basically, the from, right? So instead of making this an address, we could say that the from is a private key, which is an ECDSA private key. So now we're gonna copy this, paste it in here, so we can actually we need to make this a little bit from PK, all right? From PK, from priv key. So we know it's a priv key. So the public key is a from priv key point public. We do some shenanigans. We say the from address is this thing, from address. All right, so we can do this, maybe do this. We return this error like this. Oh, if okay, what's going on? Return error fmt error f like this. And we have this shenanigans, that's good, and then we send it background, but we can do, first of all, we need to fix this private key. That's basically the from priv key, boom. We can say return r, then we're sending the transaction, we're gonna return, we could actually do return the whole shebang. Look at this, boom. And instead of context print background, we are gonna provide the same CTX we already created. And that's gonna be our transfer ETH transaction. And I'm basically confused. All right, we're almost there. We're almost gonna place a limit order, which already works, but we're gonna actually transfer our own Ethereums from our Ganesh private Ethereum blockchain from our own custom exchange. Isn't that amazing? That's a premiere. It's only here on my channel. It's never been taught before. It's never been found on YouTube. It's only here on my channel. Holy shit. Yeah. So I'm gonna quickly check what's going on with the stream. Exclusive here on my channel, where we are the army of high value engineers. We don't give a shit about to-do lists. We don't give a shit about portfolio sites. How to set up a wallet. That's not here. If you're looking for that, you're not gonna find it here. We only do high value stuff. We're creating complete blockchains from scratch. We are creating exchanges from scratch. We are gonna make our own market maker algorithms to provide liquidity, quantitative trading infrastructure to provide liquidity on our own exchange. From scratch. From a blank page, from zero. All right? Because although it's a bear market, we don't care, right? We don't care if it's a bear market, if it's a bull market. We don't care. All right. Cool. Now we need to make this thing work. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open the utils here and the order book here. All right. Shebang. Easy peasy. Nice and flowy. So place a limit order. That's the order book. We don't need the order book. That's already been done. We need main. This has already been ported, so that's good. So we could comment it out in case, because we know that's working code. So we're gonna comment it down. We're not gonna delete it. We're not gonna do that because it's always good to have this in the back of our mind, something to fall back to if we fucked it up, which probably will. Because this is gonna work from the first time. We're gonna celebrate this. All right, so we place a limit order. That's the first thing we're gonna do. Place a limit order. So we have the user. So then we say util, the error. Actually, no. Yeah, damn. User, no. Util. Transfer. Why is this util not working? Because this is... No, it's the same. It's transfer like this. Transfer 8. All right. We need the client. We could instantiate the client inside of this function, but that's a bad practice. So what we're gonna do, first of all, we're gonna comment this. We're gonna set the client, we're gonna instantiate the client at the beginning and inject it into our, assign it onto our exchange. That's what we're gonna do. So this client, it's all fine. It's all fine. Eat client and dial CTX. We don't need this. Okay, cool. We're gonna move this bad boy here, and then we're gonna say a new exchange, and we're gonna say client here, right? So here, we're gonna say client. It's gonna be an eat client. And then client eat client like this and like this. All right, that's been done. So now we have access to this client in this function. So user Did we pass the, yeah, the client? Yeah. We need the from private key, which is the user private key. Oh yeah, I can see it coming. Two is gonna be our exchange address. Exchange address. I'm thinking, we have the private key from our exchange. This is good. So we can make it a public key. Yeah. Why not? Yeah, we could. It's gonna be a yeah. Look at this. I'm gonna copy this. And I'm gonna do something like this, right? So the public key, I'm gonna say exchange pub key. It's gonna be exchange private key pub key public, right? Yeah. And then exchange okay, exchange. Never paid attention to crypto stuff like that. Well, yeah, most of the people don't pay. Yeah, most of the people don't pay attention because you just use things, right? You just go to an exchange and you use all this stuff, and it's all working like you want it to be. But behind the scenes, there's a lot going on, right? There's a lot going on. And also, although you probably will never make an exchange in your life, or you will never need to make one in your life, knowing all these concepts, and my stomach is growing, I'm hungry. Knowing all these concepts will make you better in whatever you do, right? It will make you more aware if you want to buy something. If the Bitcoin could even be stocks, because you know how it works. You will have a better understanding how order books work, which will help you understand the market much more. Yeah, it's just sometimes you need to do these things, although it sounds like a waste of time, because I'm making this, I'm spending here hours and hours on Twitch making this for nothing, right? My channel is so small, I don't even have a subscribe button, a donate button, I have nothing. Even on my YouTube channel, I don't have even ads on, because I can't, because I don't have 100 followers. Isn't that something to cry about? But do you see me cry? I'm just building, right? Because I know eventually I will have all these things, because I'm providing value. And I believe that if you keep doing that, the world will turn around and something good will happen to you. Hey, oh my God. Is this a motivational channel or what is this? Holy crap. All right. Damn it. If you have more questions, anyone, it doesn't matter, just put them in the chat and I will respond. I will respond to anything. Ask me anything about crypto trading. I will tell you the truth and only the truth, because I literally have nothing to sell to you. So I will be honest. All right, from address. We're almost there. Let me focus real quick. So from address is basically, this is this. Key. Yeah. From address. Okay, cool. We transfer from the to. That's not from address. To address actually. Like this, and then we need to specify the amount. And what is going on with client? Undeclared name. No worries. Got you covered. So, and then we need the amount. And that's always a little bit of a hassle, because if you want to send 10 ETH, you need to specify it in grid, blah, 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 blah. So, but what we're going to do is the order is here. So the order point size, that's basically the amount, right? But the order point size, the order dot size, point size, whatever, order dot size is big as 3 asterisk CL. A hard one to implement the stop limit, and that's true. That's completely true. You are on point. You're noticing stuff. That's true. That's also the reason why it's not there. No, the stop limit is true. But yeah, nothing more to say about it. It's a little bit more complicated. And it's actually a good idea, because I totally forgot about that. Would be a nice one to implement later on. But the first thing for educational purposes would be market and limits, which already been implemented. And eventually it would be nice to have stop loss. Why not? Stop limits. Stop losses. Last question for the day. Did you go to college or just learn your own courses? That's a good question. What do you think? What do you think? Guess. Guess how I did it. Big but new wins. Order size. What's going on? Of course, that shenanigans. These floating points are keep following me in every blockchain smart contract endeavor I'm doing. Because that's basically most of the hardest things in smart contract development, or in blockchain in general, or the decimals, floating points. Always misery. A proto buffer make good production. True. Proto buffer is being used. Jake Doubler. Why are you using Go with ETH? Yes. Are you writing the smart contract into and compile it? No. The reason I'm using this is because what are we building is a exchange where you can trade crypto tokens, basically a cryptocurrency exchange, a complete one from scratch. So we are building the matching engine. We have the order books. We have a JSON API. We have a private Ethereum blockchain, Ganesh, set up. So basically, if, for example, a limit order comes in, I'm using the API, the Ethereum API, to transfer the tokens on the backend. That's basically the thing, to make it simple, to transfer the tokens on the backend. Because the matching engine, the order book, the server is running on the backend, and it's not written in TypeScript, so I cannot use the very nice Ethercs library. So I need to do it in Go, because I'm transferring them in the backend, if that makes sense. And right now, I need to convert so the problem is the size is a float, right? It's a float, it's a decimal. But of course, you know what? For the sake of demonstration, and we're gonna fix it, right? But for the sake of making this work, So we can call it a day, wrap it up, and go back to our lives. I'm gonna do this. What does it want? Int64? Well, you get Int64. It probably won't work, so I need to... Can I cast this? That would be better. I can cast it. Nice. Of course, that would give us wrong values, but we are gonna... I'm not gonna put a decimal number in it. Although it's a decimal type, a float, it's a float, I'm not gonna put some crazy number in it. For testing purposes right now, I'm just gonna do 10K or something. A size 10 or something, you know? So we can just truncate it to an int, but it doesn't matter because it will stay the same if you know what I mean. All right, amount is gonna be this truncated float as a big int. And then we're gonna say amount like this and call it a day. And then we're gonna just return this whole shenanigans like this. So I was thinking, if you place a limit order, so if I want to sell 10 ETH, so I have 10 ETH on my exchange, I have 10 ETH on Binance, I have 10 ETH on Kraken, and I want to place a limit order, the real question is, do I transfer my 10 ETH to the exchange wallet, which is what we're doing right now, which is exactly what we are coding right now. So we can then, if it's being matched by a market order, we can then transfer it from the exchange to the guy actually bought it. Or we leave it on the wallet. So if I want to sell it, I leave it on my wallet. But we do bookkeeping in the backend that actually this 10 ETH is reserved, for example. And then if we match with James, Joe, Jonathan, we could directly transfer it. I don't know. Both things are possible. Both things are possible. Because it doesn't make sense, to be honest, to do what we do now. To do what we do right now. Because if you're creating market maker algorithms and you're placing limit orders, they are very fast. So if I'm placing an order, I place a limit order, but then I need to cancel it because market is going in the opposite direction, right? Straddle, I need to straddle up and not down. So I need to cancel my order. But it's still in processing because no. We need to do it different. But anyway, just for today, I'm going to make this work. So in the next stream, I can fix it and make it even better. The future more impressive of Binance is a trading engine with FTPGA. I have no clue. Explain me. I have no clue what it is. Of course, their tech is 10 times better. It may be 100 times. I understand. But this is for the sake of demonstration purposes. I could also code the to-do list or something else. But we don't do that here. But they have impressive technology. That's true. They have a lot of money, right? Binance, Coinbase, they have a lot of money, so they pay a lot of money. But only the best work there, right? So no garbage, no trash, no jokers there. Yeah, the real question is, so now we are basically transferring it already if we place a limit order. We're going to refactor that. So we just do bookkeeping. We reserve it behind the scenes. So if it's getting canceled, we just release it, right? And then we will transfer it when it's being matched. Because it's being matched, we are 100% sure it's okay, right? It cannot be canceled. We know we need to transfer these tokens. For sure. All right. thirsty. What the hell is this? All right. Cool. The real question is this going to work? Probably not. What are the chances? What are the odds? Is this going to work smoothless? What are the chances? Okay, so can I just go? Can I just fire this limit? No, because there's no user. Ah. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? I'm gonna create a user. I know I have a constructor for it, but I don't care. I'm gonna do it like this. I'm gonna say the idea is gonna be this. And does it have an idea? That's a question. It doesn't. Now it does. N64. Oh man, I'm getting so tired. I'm not gonna lie. And we need a private key, right? So what we're gonna do is open this Ganesh. And we're gonna yoink one. We're gonna take this. Boom. So it's gonna be 8 for the sake of like this. Now I need to convert this. I could basically use that function, to be honest, but it is what it is. PK string. This is good. Error. And then we're gonna say this is the PK and this is the PK string. Boom. Then we're gonna say exchange add user. There's no function add user, or what is this? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Exchange users. User ID is going to be this user. Done. First of all, I'm gonna try to boot it up. Okay, that's basically, for some reason, they don't like we do this 0x and the front, which doesn't make any sense. They could basically do that in their internal functions, but whatever. They're lazy. Make run. Okay, that's working kinda okay. So if we will place a limit order, we're gonna get the user from the users. We're gonna, okay, public key, that's good. And then we're gonna say the address amount, we transfer it Boom, 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 the amount. The problem is the amount is not going to be... But that's no worries because we can actually specify it in gray on our front end. Or way, or whatever that name is supposed to be pronounced. You know what? We're just gonna go for it. Sometimes you just need to jump, right? Don't think, just do. Exactly. What the hell's going on? So we get the order books and there is nothing in the books, of course. So we're gonna place a bit. We're gonna place a byte. No, we're gonna. We need to have a sell order because we're gonna place an ask. The size is gonna be 10. We do. I don't know how many zeros it needs to be. What's going on? Let's just do this, right? We copy this, so we know exactly how many zeros it needs to be. That's one eat. So if we do one more, we have 10 eats, isn't it? Or maybe I'm garbage. It doesn't matter. We're gonna place it at the price level of 10K. Of course, what did you expect? What did you expect? It's gonna work for the first time. That's impossible. A nil pointer dereference. All right. Yeah, that's always with these null pointer shenanigans. It's in place order, that's for sure. We also coding like a piece of shit, I'm not gonna lie, because for example, I'm getting this user out of this map, but who the hell says this user exists? So basically we could do, I know what's going on. I know what's going on, but nonetheless, we're gonna check this. What's going on? Okay, cool. This Vim plugin sometimes, man. If okay. User not found. Like this. There's probably an ID or something. Users ID. Like that. The user ID is 8. That's something I remember. That our user ID is 8. I'm gonna reboot this just for the sake. Make run. So what we need to do is specify user ID for some reason. User ID 8. Was it user ID? User ID, that's correct. Okay. That's better. Okay, so yes, cool. So we have our order sitting in the asks, and we see the size is a big number, but that's basically 10 ETH. But the only thing I want to check right now, and probably it would have just transferred this amount, because otherwise, so what we're going to do to check it, and that's the last thing we're going to do, and then we're going to call it a day, is to double check if actually the ETH are being transferred from our private blockchain. It probably is. So the guy's account was 8, right? So it's matching, right? So it's matching. So I'm gonna copy this boy. I'm gonna go to main, which I already am, but I'm fried. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna paste this address like this. Oh, come on, please. This address, then we're gonna, where is my client real quick? Actually, we don't care because this exchange is a client, so we'd say x client, balance that. Do we have a CTX? We have one. Or we don't. We don't. Context background like this, and then we say real quick the address. So we need to common hex to address. So normally that balance should be 1000 ETH. That's the default balance of our private network. That's the default balance Ganesh provides us. So if it's more, it should be less, right? It should be less. I could also check our balance to see if it's on. Yeah. Good point. This is nil. So that's the balance. There's also an error, but we don't give a shit. And we're gonna just say fmt println the balance like this, and hopefully it all works, but I'm not sure. I think there's an issue, by the way. Just saw something. Yeah, big issue. And the reason is, look at this, that I missed this. Look, I'm gonna do this again. It's empty. I'm gonna post it again. User ID A, I'm gonna post this, but RLP, you see, cannot encode negative big int. Of course, it doesn't matter. I know what's going on. So the problem is it's too big to fit in a number. So what we need to do is put it in a big int. But the problem is JSON and big ints is all nasty stuff, filthy things. So we're not going to do it right now. So we're going to decrease the size. So instead we're not going to send 1 ETH or 10 ETH. We're going to send a couple of fractions, a couple of GUI. And now we need to just do this. And I think it's the same problem once again. Make run maybe. You see, and we transferred it, so it's working. Cool. Yes. And normally, to make this pinpoint precise, we should have money into our exchange, but that will be because it will work. That's all good. So, are there any more questions? Happy to resolve them. Happy to release you from your inner demons. I'm happy to do that. So what did we do is basically we placed a limit order and we transferred. I sold a couple of GUIs, couple of fractions of ETH, and we removed them from my wallet and put them into the exchange. But what we're gonna do is the next stream, we're gonna do it in bookkeeping. So we're gonna log them and we're only gonna send them from person A to B when it's matched, right? That makes more sense because we all know that a settlement, this is what they call a settlement, takes time to process. So if I'm placing a limit order, but I instantly want to cancel it because market shenanigans, it does not make sense to transfer it. But for the sake of, it's actually pretty easy. So the first thing I'm going to do next stream is to fix this, and it will be fixed in less than 20 minutes. I promise. Because it's actually easy. But right now, I'm hungry and I'm thirsty. And I'm gonna relax a little bit. These videos will be available on my YouTube channel, probably also for 7 days on my Twitch channel if you want to rewatch them. If you want to follow along, all the series that I'm providing is on my YouTube channel. So please go to my YouTube channel. If you like what you see, if you want to learn more about blockchain, DeFi, trading, whatever, development, go to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe. You can watch everything there. No ads. You can just sit back and you never need to skip ad. You can just sit back and relax. Yeah, so that was it. I'm going to wait a little bit more for any more questions. If there are no questions, I'm going to dip them. I'm going to peace them out. And thanks for watching. Subscribe, go to my YouTube channel, do the same thing, follow me on Twitter, and I will see you in the next stream. Thanks for watching. Much appreciated. Bye-bye.